Okay, I want to just look at a couple problems on the back of your review sheet. Most of these are just like the ones on the front. So again, if you're having any difficulty, refer back to the front of the review sheet. You can also go back and refer back to the videos on 1 through 10 on the front. I do want to go over just a couple problems on this video. I want to look at number 11. It says Sarah ate 78 out of G gumdrops. So again, that letter G just represents a variable. Okay, so that just represents a number that they don't give us. Okay, so it could very easily be say that Sarah ate 78 out of 100 gumdrops, or Sarah ate 78 out of 90 gumdrops. Okay, so that G could be any number. It's just a variable they give us. They want us to write an expression that shows how many gumdrops Sarah has left. Okay, so left is a key word there. When you're doing this, the key thing is, let's look at it right here. She ate 78 out of G gumdrops. So again, just for the purpose of this, I'm going to say, make this number up. I'm going to say 100. So let's say she, and that's not the number or answer. I'm just putting that in there so you can kind of see how this works. So she ate 78 out of 100 gumdrops. So if that were the case, how many would she have left? Okay, again, that keyword left should tell you what operation to use. Okay, so when you're writing this operation out, when you're writing this expression, make sure that you write it so it makes sense. For example, if you write this 78 minus G, if you write that as your answer, that's not going to be correct. Okay, because she ate 78 out of whatever number this is, gumdrops. Okay, so in this case, if I said 78 out of 100, I wouldn't subtract 78 minus 100 because that would be impossible. I could not do that. 100 is larger. Okay, so just don't get mixed up with what you put first in the expression. Okay, so what you put first is very important. So again, 78 out of G gumdrops. Again, if it helps you, just make up a number. I just used 100 here so you can kind of get an idea. 78 out of 100. So if that were the case, how would I figure out how many she had left in that problem? Okay, but you're not going to use a number. I was just using this for an example. You're going to use the variable G. Okay? All right, the next problem I want to look at is number 14, and we'll be getting into this more next week. It says, which has a value 10 times greater than 5 thousandths. So again, we're dealing with decimals here. And just like the front problem, we're going to use our jumps to help us figure this one out. And this one's very similar to the one on the front. I'm just going over it again because we haven't gone over this yet in class. So if this is my number 5 thousandths, because again, just a refresher, this is your tenths place, this is your hundredths place, and this is your thousandths place. And again, we end all decimals with the THS. It's not hundreds, it's hundredths. Okay? And again, that decimal just tells me that, this is a number less than a whole, less than 1. Okay, because here's my whole number, which is 0. And then this is the decimal part. Okay, so I have 5 thousandths of the whole. Okay, so if I want to go 10 times greater, I'm going to use my jumps. I start with the number wherever it's asking me. So I'm starting here, and I'm going to do 10 times greater, and I know each jump's worth 10. So I'm going to do 1 jump. Okay? So again, your answer will be to the hundredths place. Okay? And it's very similar to the one we did on the front. Again, I just wanted to go back over because we'll be getting into this more next week. All right, so you have 3 choices to pick from. So what would be 10 times greater? 5/10, 5/100, the whole number 5, or the whole number 50. Okay? And I'm going to go over one more problem. And that's number 15. It says, write the multiplication equation that the illustration represents with answer. Okay? So, kind of just drew the picture here. Now I need to write this time on the front it was a little different. This one I need to write the multiplication equation for this answer. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at each one of these. So this is a hole here, this is a hole, and then this is part of a hole. Okay, and I can look and I can see these were divided up into thirds. Okay, because I have one here, and one here. So there's 3 total parts. Okay, same here, same here. They're all the same. So I know each one of these is worth a third. Okay, so I will write 1/3 there. Okay, so I know I'm writing a multiplication problem. It tells me that, so I'm going to multiply. Now I multiply it by the number of thirds that are colored in. So how many thirds do you have colored in? Okay, and you can just do that just by, you can determine that just by counting. Okay. So you can do that part. I don't need to tell you that the answer to that part of the problem. And then, so you have 1/3, so each one of these is worth a third. Then you're going to multiply it by the number of ones that are shaded in, and that answer will go here. Okay, and then it's going to equal how many holes do you have. It's going to be a mixed number. How many holes do you have? I have one hole here. I have another hole here. So I need a whole number and then a fraction. So my answer, so 1/3 times this number is going to give me a whole number. And you can all you need to do is count the number of holes that we have, and then what fraction is left. And this is the fraction part here. Okay, so how would I write that? This one right here as a fraction, and that would go here. So you're going to have a number here, and a whole number here. Okay, and when I say a mixed fraction, for example, this is just one I'm making up, like 5 1/2. Okay, that's a mixed number. So you have a whole number and then a fraction that goes with it. So that's what you're going to have here. You're going to have a whole number based on the picture. How many holes do you have? And then you're going to have the fraction part of it that's left, which is this right here. Okay, and then this whole thing will be your answer. Okay, so that's number 5. Oh, excuse me, 15. Number 5 was very similar. Number 16, you do not have to do this week. You don't have to do 16. Number 17, just keep in mind how much change will Elena get if she pays with a $20 bill and buys a crossword puzzle book, a history book, and a math book. So you first need to determine how much money she spent on a puzzle book, a history book, and a math book. That's the first thing you need to do here. And you're going to need to use another piece of paper and staple it. That way you don't make silly mistakes trying to cram everything in a very little space here. So you need to find out the total of the 3 books, and then you need to figure out, once you get that total, how much change would you get back from $20. 18, this is just like the number 8 on the front. Haley has 2 dogs. Her black dog weighs 154 pounds. The brown dog weighs 1,569 ounces. Which dog weighs more? So again, you need to convert the ounces into pounds. Remember, from the front, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And you're going to determine the number of pounds the same way you did on number 8 on the front. Okay? Other than that, you should be okay with this side. Again, if you have any questions, let somebody know. You can also bring it in. We can pre-check it. before Tuesday when it's due. Okay.